everybody, this is Joe White from Get Life Coaching, and welcome to another edition of Live Free. So very often someone comes into this office or my other office and I ask them, well, what do you want? And they start describing the things that they want, whether it's the relationship or the career or the finances. And I love the things. I don't want to live my life like a Buddhist monk. The accomplishment and achieving of things in life has its place. However, achieving the external without understanding and appreciating the internal first creates a fear-driven rat race that very rarely ends up us feeling in a place of abundance or fulfillment or sustainable happiness. So I'd like to share with you a little bit about, I think, something which is so much more valuable, or at least a question that we need to ask ourselves before we start asking ourselves, what do we want in our lives, whether you're setting your goals or planning out the next decade of your life. And that is, what emotions do you want to cultivate? What emotions do you want to consistently live in? Because if you look at it this way, there's 550,000 words, give or take, in the English dictionary. Out of those 550,000 words, about 3,000 describe human emotion. If you ask people, okay, out of those 3,000, which ones do you feel on a regular basis? What emotional states do you feel consistently on a habitual basis? Our studies have shown it's about 9 to 12. That's it. So from 3,000, 9 to 12. And unless you've done work on yourself or you're generally an optimistic person, you're going to find that more people have more negative emotions than positive. And sure, we all can go through a moment where we feel elated, but we don't use that word habitually. We don't gravitate to there. If we use the word depression, well, you know what? If we're feeling sad one day and we don't use that word sad, then we're going to gravitate to the word or to the emotional state that is closest to that. In this case, it's depression. And we only have 9 to 12. Now, how many of yours, maybe you want to pause this video and just write down what emotions do you consistently feel? What emotions do you habitually go into? Do that right now. Hit pause, take just 30 seconds, and kind of jot down. And then circle the negative ones. Okay? I'll be right here. Hit pause. Okay, good. Welcome back. And maybe you didn't hit pause, you'll do it later, but do it. Because you're going to learn something. And if you're like most people, you're going to learn that the emotional states that you're living in are a far cry from the emotional states that you want to cultivate. And it doesn't even matter what's on your list. What if you had the ability to write on an empty palette, to start painting from scratch by asking yourself, what emotions do I want to live in the next 2, 3, 5 years of my life? Is it love, happiness, joy? I remember I used to write down happiness. And then I heard someone say the word joy. I'm like, wow, joy is like happiness on steroids. So joy became part of my habitual vocabulary. Pleasure, stimulation, confidence, courage, gratitude, empathy. I mean, you can go to Google and just Google emotional words. You'll see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. But what emotions do you want to cultivate? That's part of your homework. You can stop the tape, stop the video, stop YouTube, or you can kind of do it when it's over. But take some time and write down what emotional states. That's number one. What emotional states do you want to cultivate? Number two, what you want to write down is, what are you currently doing to move towards there? What are you doing already? Because some of these ones on your list, some of the ones on the list are things that you want to move towards that you're already attaining. But maybe you want to attain it even greater, or you want to make sure you don't lose it. That's fine. Okay, but you want to identify what you're doing already, the success formula. Then you want to ask, well, what do I need to do to cultivate the other ones on this list? And that will give you a strategy and action plan. And then your last question is, what am I currently doing that's driving me away from these? That's the kicker. What are you currently doing that's driving you away? Sometimes we're doing an action. Sometimes we're doing an emotional state. Maybe we're doing emotional scarcity and it's driving you away from abundance. Maybe you're doing fear and it's driving you away from faith. Or maybe you're driving down the highway and you get road rage. And that emotional state takes any sense of spirituality, connection, hope, love, just right out of you. Or maybe it's your work. So your goal here is to identify what emotions you want to live in, and then begin understanding how you're doing it and how you're driving yourself away. And you begin to cultivate this, figuring out how you do this, the vehicles or where you're going to, it's going to become much easier. And when you get there, you're not going to be so focused on the attainment of it, you're going to feel it. Because we don't want to achieve goals just to achieve goals. It's that feeling that we have associated to it. But if you're only focused on the goal and not the emotion, it's like driving down the highway and you go right past your exit. You get there, but you don't know you're there, and you go right past it. And you're going to feel unsatisfied. So cultivate your emotions. Have some fun. Have any questions, feel free to email me. Do it now at Get Life Coaching. My name is Joe.